What if every hard choice in life was secretly a row of glowing slot machines? Each one hides a different payout rate. Your coins could be time, attention, opportunities, years of your life. Welcome to Aiming Up and our Algorithms for Life series. Today we're looking at optimal stopping, the search for the one. The book, Algorithms to Live By, calls these hard choices multi-armed bandits. And today we're pulling 3 levers to make better decisions as we aim up. The first lever. When do you stop searching and choose? This is the 37% rule. The second lever. How long do you keep experimenting versus picking? This is explore versus exploit. The third lever. How do you commit without crushing regret? This is the regret minimization framework. Let's start with examples everyone is familiar with. Want to actually select the single best partner, job, or apartment that you have access to? If you turned 18 years old and decided that you wanted to settle down in wedded bliss when you were 28, don't marry your high school sweetheart. Instead, plan to date, commitment-free, until you're 21 years and 8 months old. That's 37% of your 10-year window. Interestingly, the 37% can be the time you have, the number of prospects, your budget, or any other limiting factor. Anything. Track the best you've seen in that 37% window. From there, commit to the very next person who is better for you than those you've seen so far. Science says you'll land the absolute best you could 37% of the time. And the typical outcome the other 63% of the time, is now going to be much better than average. Historically, this has been known as the secretary problem, but it's proven math for dating, apartment shopping, job hunting, hiring, and any endeavor where you have many sequential relative comparisons. If you're looking for a shortcut, set hard filters on important factors early. Must-haves on price, location, values, deadlines, time, whatever. Anything that will reduce the pool of candidates. This in turn reduces the size of the 37%. After all, we can't have exploring the 37% break the bank or your heart. Thankfully, reality is usually kinder than the math assumes. In reality, we can often revisit options. And you're rarely 100% blind to other options around you. However, keep in mind that in some situations your offer can be rejected. Revisiting options and having additional information lets you explore longer. The possibility of rejection encourages us to leap sooner and still do better than guessing. Lever 2. Explore versus exploit. These are 2 phases. Explore. Trying new things to gather information. Exploit, going back to what already works, benefiting from what was learned, exploring. What does that mean practically? Let's look at moving. Explore. When you move to a new city, you explore or try any restaurant. Exploit. 10 years later, you typically go to only 3 or 4 of all the restaurants you explored earlier. These are now favorites. You use the information you gleaned in the explore phase to now exploit your preferred dining experience. We can and do the same with workouts, hobbies, marketing, everything. And now, the third lever. Regret. Who knew there were formulas for regret? Actual regret is what you got minus what you could have gotten. That's only partially true, though. The feelings of regret are asymmetrical. Meaning that the negative feelings of having regret are worse than the positive feelings of not having regret. This means that felt regret is worse than the actual regret. Psychologists say we gauge losses at 2 to 2.5 times more than equivalent gains. However, there might be an antidote or at least a prevention. Jeff Bezos calls his antidote the regret minimization framework. Project yourself to age 80 and ask your future self, which will I regret more, not trying or trying and failing? when his colleagues tried to dissuade him from leaving a good job on Wall Street. When there were so many unknowns, Bezos used it to boldly and enthusiastically start Amazon. He was convinced that even if it had failed, he would have more regret if he hadn't tried. On a personal level, I just used all 3 levers picking new flooring for the house. We explored hard for 2 weeks, set strict filters, and locked in the next vendor that beat our benchmark. 0 regret. Well, with dust everywhere and a nervous dog, there might be a little regret. So here's your cheat sheet next time you're stuck. If it's a one-shot decision, use the 37% rule. An ongoing choice? Remember the new city explore, old city exploit strategy? An overwhelming or paralyzing choice? Use Bezos' 80-year-old test. That's it. 3 tools from the same math. Full guide, formulas, research papers, and extra links are all in the blog post. Link in description. Please add a like if this just saved you from overthinking. Next week, we tame the chaos. Until then, keep aiming up.